Hello and welcome to the Vetter discussion. My name is Ryan. I'm so glad you're here today, and we have a fantastic show planned for you this afternoon. We're going to talk about money management. We're going to talk about Telegram security, and of course, we're going to dive into, hands down, the best research tool, which is the Vetter platform. We're going to see if we can find some hidden gems for you today. Now, again, my name is Ryan. I'm so glad to be your host. This call is an interactive call that we host 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays at the same time. Now, like I said, it's going to be interactive, so be sure to participate. That means raising your hand if you want to hop on voice or typing your questions in the comment section. After every topic, we're going to break for a couple of questions, so be sure to be ready to get your questions answered. Okay? Be sure to be ready to get your questions answered. Today, I'm going to show you how to use and utilize, hands down, the best research tool, which is the Vetter platform, to find your next 2x, 10x, 100x, and beyond. Now, if you're watching this right now and you don't hold Vetter tokens, that's okay. Go ahead and check out vetter.ai. You're going to learn about what the platform is, why we're so excited, and why our community is growing on a regular basis, and how we're getting the results that we are getting. Now, before we jump into all of that stuff, let me tell you a little bit about myself. Like I said, my name's Ryan. Been a part of the Vetter community since early October, and I'm so thankful and grateful to be a part of this awesome community. Been able to network, become friends with people from all over the world, and it's just such an awesome experience. And it's one of the things I love most about the Vetter platform in the community is the crowdsourced intelligence. Okay, crowdsourced intelligence. You may have heard of artificial intelligence, AI. What we have here at Vetter Platform, we've combined AI with CI. Okay, AI with CI. CI is crowdsourced intelligence. And that's literally the ability to collaborate, communicate, work together. People from all over the world, different experience levels, different backgrounds coming together to share their insights into these projects. What they like, what they don't like, the red flags, the hidden gems, the insider secrets, things that you can utilize to support you in your crypto journey. It's absolutely fantastic. It's one of the things I absolutely love. Now, I will say that I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Anything I share on today's call is not taken as financial advice. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share information. I'm going to share mindset. I'm going to share some ideas on how to utilize this platform. So what is a Vetter platform? It's a research tool. What's a tool? Well, sometimes a tool can be a form of leverage. In my opinion, Vetter is the ultimate form of leverage when it comes to the crypto space. Leverage is the ability to do more with less. Okay, the ability to do more with less. So if you were to go out and try to lift up your car, that would take a lot of effort and a lot of energy, and it might not end up too well for yourself or your car. Now, if you were to get a jack out, put the jack where it goes, and jack up your car, you're going to be able to lift the car. The jack is a form of leverage. It allows you to do more with less. And here with the Vetter platform, the form of leverage is saving yourself time, energy, and shortening your learning curve. See, if you're brand new, you don't have to figure this out on your own. There's a community here all working together to make sure when one wins, we all win. And that, my friends, is what the Vetter platform is all about. Now, I also will say, the Vetter platform is a tool. It's not a crystal ball. So someone one time they asked me on a live session, they said, Ryan, show me the next 5X. I said, hey, this is not a crystal ball. This is a tool. It's a research tool to help you better find the project to have the potential to 2X, 5X, 10X, and beyond. Now, a couple announcements. Weekly stats from last week. Top reported gain for last week from our users, 200% gain, okay, which is a 3X. We had 14 projects do a 1.5X or more in the first 24 hours. And we also had user gains of 3X, 3X, 2X, 2X, and 2X. Last week, congrats goes to LDN 100X for being the scout of the week. LDN 100X has been posting some fantastic projects. You definitely want to check them out and see what they are up to. But yeah, posting some great projects there. Robyn is actually in Croatia at a crypto event. And here's some pictures that she had dropped in Telegram. You can go ahead and check out Telegram for some more up-to-date information there, but pretty sweet setup. I really like this this hallway and the images there. So in today's topic, we are going to cover money management, some examples of what that actually looks like, and Telegram security. Just because there's been a handful of things that have been going on the last couple of days, and we just want to make sure that you have the right information and you're able to keep yourself safe. Okay, keep yourself safe. So the two things we're going to cover in the next few minutes, again, is going to be money management, and we're going to use examples from the Vetter platform. Okay, so what you see on your screen right now, these are numbers from a scout. Okay, these are actual numbers from a scout. And last week, I showed this, and a lot of people were like, well, who is it? Who is it? This is Mr. LDN 100X. Okay, and so at the time of this picture, this was the last 10 projects that LDN 100X has the gains on the last 10 projects of LDN 100X. And so if you are, tier 3 and you're looking for a scout to follow, this could be a good option. If you're tier 4, this is definitely a scout you'd want to take a look at and follow and look at the track record and see. But one of the questions came last week, and they said, how do you know when to take profits? Last night we were in voice chat and Telegram, and we were talking about take profits and take profits early. And someone asked, how do you know when to take profits? How do you know? Well, you can just guess and see how that works out for you. Or you can do something that we call a volume of launches, which you look at the track record either of yourself, or you look at the track record of a scout that you follow, or you paper trade, meaning you look at projects to get into, you treat it seriously, like you're going to invest. You go to Pinksell, you go to DXL, you literally treat it seriously, like you're an investor in the project. The only thing is you don't have any money on the line. It allows you to learn, allows you to understand, allows you to see over a period of time, over 10 launches, over 20 launches, over 30 launches, you're going to see how many wins, which are in the green here, how many losses, which are right here in the red, and what the gains were for those projects. See, over a volume of launches, you develop something called KSP. Okay, KSP. Anybody know what KSP stands for? Go ahead and type it in the comments section below. KSP stands for Knowledge of System Performance. KSP. So you do a VOL, which is volume of launches, to understand KSP. You get to understand the system, okay? And every 10 launches, every 20 launches, every 30 launches, you get a picture of what's going on. And you realize, okay, if I were to have gotten into every one of these trades, what would have happened? If I were to have gotten into just some of these trades, what would have happened? And you're able to develop a money management strategy based on that. So the question is, looking at this data, let's work together to determine a couple money management systems that you could utilize by looking at the data from this scout, which is LDN 100X. Okay? Okay, feel free to drop it in the comment section when you have an idea. Feel free to unmute if you want to chime in some of your thoughts on, with the data that we have available in front of us, what are some ways that you could develop a money management system? What I mean by that is, when I say money management, I mean, how much are you going to put in, and what is your exit strategy? Okay, both of these things factor into your money management. How much are you going to put in, and how much you're going to pull out, and when? Okay, so feel free to unmute. Feel free to drop some comments in the chat. Based on these numbers we see in front of us, what are some money management strategies you could come up with and say, okay, if this trend were to continue, what would I do? Okay. So right off the bat, you could say, well, if this continued, you could get into every single trade. And you could get into every single trade and pull out at 50x. I'm not saying that's necessarily a good idea or a bad idea. I'm just simply saying that is an idea that you could do. Okay, that's an idea. Why? Because you have 3 projects that have done over a 50x. So 3 projects out of 7 that do over 50, you're in massive profit. Okay, if that trend continues, that's why you do KSP. That's why you do volume of launches to understand your KSP. Another thing we could look at, we could say, okay, 4 projects out of 10 do a 2x or more. Okay, so maybe your target is 2x. We could also say that 7 projects out of 10 at least do a 1.1x. So maybe at that point, you take a partial profit. You take a partial profit. At this point, you know that 5 projects out of 10 do a 1.25x. So maybe that's where you take a partial profit. And this is where you would do a RIP FT. Recoup investment, profit, leaving free tokens. Okay, that's how this could work. If this is making sense, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Perfect, we got some thumbs up. So those are some ideas on how to develop money management for this project. If that is crystal clear and you know exactly what to do, go ahead and start doing it on the platform right now. If you don't understand how we came up with that, go ahead and raise your hand and let's talk about it. Or ask your questions in the comment section and let's answer those questions. So this is crystal clear on how you can develop a money management strategy based on data and a track record from your volume of launches. Oh, this is fantastic. We got 18 people on the line and nobody's raising their hands. That means that everybody understands how to do this to a T. And tomorrow, they're going to start following Mr. LD in 100X and they're going to start getting into all of his trades because they know exactly what's going on here.
Hey, Ryan. That's
hey, what's up, brother?
So I know this scout. I know the success that he's had over the last 6-7 months. I follow him for sure.
Yeah.
One thing I will mention about this though is, and as far as my money management action plans is, I know a lot of the projects are IDOs, and that's great. They typically do quite well. IDOs require you to hold or stake the native token of that launch pad in order to be given allocations to participate in the projects. So there, if you're not involved in those launch pads, and don't want to be, and just looking at quick, pre-sales and fair launches, whatever, and flip, I would be mindful of that, because there is a lot more due diligence and stuff to do in the IDOs, in
Absolutely.
my opinion. But if you are, if you are into them, and I'm sure most of them are or will be once VPAD is live. Yeah, this is a great scout to follow. He's got some fantastic projects, and yeah, I would definitely encourage to follow him for sure.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing that, Justin. I appreciate that. And so, if you're new and you're not understanding exactly what Justin's saying, when we go to our calendar, you can see a variety of projects. And some of these projects are pre-sales and some of these projects are IDOs. And in order to participate in an IDO, let's say that the IDO launchpad is called ABC. And in order to participate in that launch, you get to own ABC tokens before you are even able to invest into 1, 2, 3 project launching. Okay. Now, in this example, The reason I'm even using this as an example is because these projects are non-IDOs. So these projects are actually pre-sales and fair launches that I have shown on the screen. And so, that is the only reason I'm bringing up this particular project. One of the things that I always want to do when I'm sharing information, I want to share information that can be utilized by the masses. I want to share information that can be utilized by the majority of the community, not just a small portion of the community. And so when I go over numbers or data or any insights, it's literally for someone who's brand new, equal opportunity. You can do this. Okay. So yes, absolutely. When you're following scouts, some scouts, they post exclusively IDO projects. And if you're into IDOs and you want to do that game, by all means, go for it. Some scouts post a mixture of IDO projects and pre-sale projects, regular projects. And then some scouts, like Metaloride, he posts exclusively, pre-sale projects. And those are the type of projects that the majority of the community can be a part of. Okay. So just so we're all on the same page, though, whenever I talk about data or numbers, it's always for the common member of our community. It's not for the outliers. It's not for the exceptions. It is for the majority and the masses to utilize. So these projects are based on pre-sales and not IDOs. Now we do have another one to look at. And another thing is, whoops, there we go. I was getting too click happy there. So one of the things to consider is, last week I talked about how losses are a part of the game. Losses are a part of the game, okay? And sometimes our own subjectivity would cause us to not get in certain projects and potentially get in ones that maybe ended up not doing good at all. And so depending on your schedule, depending on your own KSP and the volume of launches will determine what projects you get into. But I say all that to say, there are some scouts that you can find where once you've done your volume of launches in KSP, you have the potential to just follow them because they are doing the work. Okay, so if you're busy and you don't have time to do all the research, you have the potential to do that. And the benefit of that is their track record. Okay, you're not doing it because you like the name. You're not doing it because you like the project that they're getting into. You're literally following that person because of their track record. And you know that 7 out of 10 times, this is what's going to look like. So, this scout had 70% success rate, which 7 out of 10 projects did well. That's great. Okay. Now, what happens if we all of a sudden have a 60% success rate? Does that mean that all of a sudden this scout is not as good as the first scout? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. What we're trying to teach here is data. Look at the data. Okay. Not the 60% success rate. Okay. This other project had 3 positions at less than 25% gain, which, hey, guys, I know that 25% gain may sound like not much at all. Being in the crypto space, that's a lot of money. Okay. But in the perspective of covering gas, covering tax, okay, this scout over here, the lowest project he had was a 2x. Okay. So we have 3 5x's, 2 3x's, and 1 2x. He had a 60% track record. He lost 2. He had a streak, a 5, lost 1, 1, 1, lost 1. Okay. Losses are part of the game. Losses are part of the game. Everybody just write that down. Okay. Write it down, type it in the chat. Like, accept the fact that losses are going to be part of the game. It's just a 0.1 or it's just a 0.2. It's just a 1 BNB. It's really, it's insignificant to the grander scheme of what's going on here. Why do I say that? Okay, well, look, if it's a 0.1 here, okay, we lost 0.1. Okay, boo-hoo. We lost 0.1. Oh, boo-hoo. Right here, we got a 2x. Now we're break even. Okay, this 1 2x makes us break even. Okay, but there's 3 5x's and 2 3x's. There are more gains on the chart than losses. And that's why I say with confidence, it's just a 0.1. Now, if you were to come back and say, well, Ryan, it's just my 0.1, I would say you're absolutely right, but think about it like this. If you're doing proper money management, if you only have $100 to invest, right now, it may not be the time to be getting in pre-sales right now. It may be the time to be paper trading as you're building up your equity, as you're building up your account balance. So then when you have $1,000 and you can, lose 25 times, these numbers now make sense. But when you come to the table and you only have $60 to invest and you can't afford to lose, that's what I mean by money management. Okay, if that makes sense, give me a thumbs up. So it's just point ones. It's just point ones. It's just point twos, because these point ones can lead to 5X's. Okay, these point ones can lead to 2X's and 3X's. It's a big deal. Okay, so just recognize that it's not a loss. Okay, it's just a minus 0.1. It is what it is. Okay, so let's look at the money management for this one. And the reason I like this one is because there's a very clear threshold here. Okay, there's a very clear threshold. Of this volume of launches, of these 10 launches, and all these are non-IDOs, this scout is Gordon Gekko. And just so you know, I'm building profiles on all of our top scouts. So, it's going to take a little bit of time, but just so you know, I'll have one for everybody. So don't feel left out. So this data is a little bit easier to read than the last one. Okay, why? Because this one has such a low threshold. Right here, 2X. 2X is the lowest gain. So what's a really cool money management strategy we could have based on this data? Okay, obviously, you do this 10 more times, you do it 10 more times, you do it 10 more times, and you're gonna have a really good track record. But this is what we have for illustrated purposes. Fair enough? Here's what I see on the chart. I see 6 out of 10 projects minimum do a 2X. That means 2X is where I rip FT. Okay, it's where I get my initial money back. Okay, it's where I live in free tokens. And I know statistically that we're at least going 3X, 5X, because this is what the data says. Okay, historical track record. Okay, we're basing it based on data, not emotions. It's literally like, this is what has happened. Okay, I'm gonna rip FT at 2X. And then at 3X, I'm gonna take a partial profit. And then at 5X, I'm gonna take a partial profit. Okay, why? Because the data tells us the lowest gain out of these 6 out of 10 was a 2X, which means that's a perfect opportunity for you to recoup your initial investment, and you can profit and leave in free tokens because historically it's going 3X and it's going 5X. Okay? And at that point, once you've hit these, you can decide what you want to do. You may decide that, okay, you're going to pull out whatever. Once it hits 3X, maybe you pull out 50%. And you're like, hey, I'm going to let the rest ride up to 5X and I'm going to close it all out there. Or you're like, you know what? I already made enough profit. I'm good to go. That's the beauty of knowing this information. Okay? This information gets more dialed in the more launches that you watch and document. Okay, the KSP, the knowledge of system performance, the system is better dialed in over time. Okay, the more data collected, the more accurate it is, and the more you can base your money management off of it. Okay, so a month from now, we're going to be able to pull up a chart and we're going to see the last 20 projects or 30 projects for Gordon Gekko, for LDN 100X, for Metal Ride, for Captain Kurt, for WM Stock, for Vodka Hop, for anybody. We're going to have the data to look and say, hey, look, this is the historical data. I mean, think about how much more simplistic that will be. And do you see an opportunity for yourself to be like, wow, okay, look, I can follow the data. I don't have to be emotionally invested in what's going on. I can strictly look at the data, look at the numbers, and choose to execute the plan. Okay, if this makes sense, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about this, go ahead and raise your hand and join in the conversation. I know that Ride, I know that he can, Justin, if you're available to share real quick, I know that you know this and you experience this on a regular basis based on some of the gaming projects that you've been watching and talking about. If you're able to share real quick, feel free to hop on and share that if you're in a place to do so. If not, it's all good.
Yeah, for sure. I've been tracking this quite a bit. Everything, meme coins, reward coins, utility coins, gaming coins, everything. I'm very analytic and data driven. And I like I was mentioning on the Telegram call last night, I paper trade more than I don't.
Yeah.
I paper trade way more than projects that I actually participate in. And I've been finding these trends too. I'm finding, for instance, a lot of the reward coins are they're pumping heavy right at the start. So I have been rip FTing just 20%, leaving 80% of my tokens to ride for a bit, waiting for things like CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko and stuff to kick in and a little bit of extra hype. And then I end up just kind of ripping right at that point. I find they're relatively quick to die off. So and I've been quite successful at doing that. And I've been doing that because of those analytics and the data I've been tracking, just as you're speaking to right now. Same thing, Gordon Gecko, another awesome scout and veteran, and very thorough in his reports, and I like his projects. I participated in almost all of them. And same thing, I've been rip FTing his projects because consistently they have gone on to do a little bit higher than that 2x or 1.5x where my threshold is to do that. And I'll let them ride. Whereas a lot of the other projects that I've been seeing right now, especially in meme coins and now rewards coins, I've just strictly been ripping those right at the pump, right at the start. I'm finding they're dipping way, way, way down, even below pre-sale. So I'll come back in at that point and then rip again or whatever, however I feel the hype is going there. So yeah, that's kind of a lot of the strategies I'm looking at right now.
Awesome. Hey, thank you for sharing, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and Sleepy, he added in chat, just one point, as Feder gets more popular and we get more scouts, this data will be even more valuable over time. You'll be able to cross-reference what patterns you see between scouts. Absolutely. Like, I know we've been on this journey since October and even, Discord before that, but each week that passes, each launch that we all take part in, we're all as a community just get better and better. And again, when we help one person win, we all win. We all can learn from each other. We all can recognize different trends and spot different patterns and things like that. And it just makes this process so rich and so valuable. And going back to that crowdsourced intelligence, being able to learn from and work with other people in the community and to shorten your learning curve and to exponentially grow your results, because you don't have to bang your head against the wall. I mean, you can if you want to, but you don't have to bang your head against the wall. Like, we're making it each week that goes by, we're making it more simplistic and easier to help people get plugged in, to help people get the answers that they're looking for, and to find the results that they're looking for. So before we move on from this, does anybody else have any questions, comments, concerns about this topic of picking money management and using it to creating your money management based on a volume of launches and finding the KSP, finding the system for your own personal trades, for other scouts? Because what you're going to find is, when we start having data on all the scouts, you're going to see some scouts, they may, hang out in the 1.5 range, and every once in a while have a home run or a grand slam. And you're going to see some scouts who fall in this range. And you're going to see some scouts who, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, called them Rico. Rico may have multiple losses, but consistently hits a 50x, 25x over and over again. Maybe 2 out of 10, maybe 1 out of 10. And, that's pretty cool. If the money management checks out, Like that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about win and losses. That doesn't matter here. What we're talking about is the data and how does that actually work out for people. David shares, this will be a great time saver for me. A lack of time and strategy has definitely held me back. So this idea is great. Learning to follow the data is my greatest learning. I thank you for sharing, David. Appreciate it. Glad you're here. Sharon says, awesome information. Have been motivated to start participating in these launches. Hey, absolutely, Sharon. And I would invite you, Sharon, before you jump in, jump in once you've done your 20 volume of launches, paper trading, just like Metaloride was saying, Metaloride is actually paper trading more launches than he's actually getting into. Why? Because when you paper trade, you don't lose. Okay. There's no way to lose. I know you may feel like FOMO, fear of missing out. You don't want to miss out on the launch. You don't want to miss out on the next big gain. Okay. You don't lose a thing when you paper trade. You actually gain. You gain knowledge. You gain wisdom. Okay. You gain knowledge and wisdom when you paper trade. And the reality of the situation is if you can start the day and then end the day with the same balance that you started, you're doing better than like 95% of the crypto people in crypto in the first place. Majority of the population loses money. Okay. Majority of the population loses money. And so you paper trading puts you ahead of the majority. Because then when you're actually ready to get in the game, you actually have money to invest. It's a win-win. You're learning and you're not throwing money away. You're not paying for the lessons. Okay. So awesome. Okay. Glad to hear that, Sharon. Glad to hear that. All right. So now we're going to move into, we're going to talk about Telegram security. And I'm going to pull up, let me just pull up the platform here. Now, one of the things that I kind of seen happening in the community, and I just wanted to bring this home because the reality of the situation is people want your money. Okay, people want your hard-earned money, and they are preying on your weaknesses. They're preying on your ignorance. They're preying on your greed. They're preying on your FOMO. Okay, they're playing a psychological game to take the money that's in your wallet and put it into their wallet. And they will go to extreme extents to make this work. Okay. So one of the things I was talking with Sleepy earlier today, and one of the things that happened was, there was a fake airdrop. Okay. So some messages went out last week that, people were DM'd saying, Vetter is rewarding people with an airdrop. And, people are, oh, sweet. And they click on it, they approved it. They didn't pay attention to, any of the basic precautions. And literally, it was fake and it was a scam and people lost their Vetter. Okay. They lost their money. That scammer was literally preying on the greed and FOMO and ignorance. And when I say ignorance, I just mean lack of knowledge. I don't mean stupid. Stupid's different than ignorant. Okay. I mean ignorant, lack of knowledge, lack of awareness. I tell you what, guys, FOMO is real. When you get a little bit of dopamine hit and your perspective is a little bit different and like your heart's racing and your blood is pumping and you're breathing a little bit heavier, you may not be thinking clearly. And so if you have this FOMO of like missing out on something better or missing out on the next big pump or missing out on this, you may get a random message and you're thinking, oh, this is it. I don't want to miss it. Let me hop in. Not realizing it's just a total and complete setup. Okay. The reason we're talking about this right now is because, I hope that this conversation continues in Discord and in Telegram, where everybody can hear this, be vigilant, be vigilant, and be aware of like literally, If someone wants your money more than you want it, they're going to get it. Okay? Okay, be skeptical. Be such a skeptic that you don't even trust a message that's being posted in our own main Telegram. You wait until the message is like pinned, and then you got like a voice confirmation from somebody. You know what I mean? Like, go do whatever you can to be so precautious. Here's the reason why. Another thing that was happening, and Sleepy said that this was definitely more devious. They actually put a lot of work into it, but they copied an entire web page from Vetter. An entire web page. Okay, like they literally, it looked like all the graphics were down. It looked like Vetter.ai. Okay, and they said like Vetter.ai like best platform. Okay, and so people would think that it was just like a forwarded link. Okay, an extension. Okay, they modified the front page, had a link to MetaMask, and fake airdrop scam. Again, be super vigilant, super paranoid, super protected. Be so disciplined, and take that ownership and responsibility of like, look, I gotta watch out for my money. I gotta watch out for my money, because if I don't, someone's gonna take it. Okay, you wouldn't walk down an alley in a busy part of town with your pockets full of money and just carelessly, casually walk through there. You would be diligent. You'd be aware. You'd be on your toes. You'd be aware of what's going on. The crypto space is the same thing. Okay, be very aware. Be very diligent. Justin has this Metal Rad. Justin has this philosophy. Everything is a scam until it is 100% proven not to be. I think that's great. When we're scouting projects, when we're vetting projects, when we're getting messages from people, just assume that it's a scam until you prove the legitimacy of it. And the best place to prove the legitimacy of something with Vetter is in our main Telegram group. In our main Telegram group. If it's not announced there, it's not legit. Okay. Mods and members of Telegram community, we're not going to message you. So if you receive a DM from us, it's like it's not us. Okay. So like, just be diligent. Be diligent. I just want to say that. I know at the end of the day, it all comes down to personal responsibility. But the reason I'm going deep on this is because time and time again, we see so many people losing their funds because of little mistakes. And if I could just plant the seed of like personal responsibility, and then we all go out to Telegram and we spread the news of personal responsibility, we can all work together and find that out, find a solution, be diligent with each other, and encourage each other in that way. So anybody have any questions, comments, concerns as it relates to scams and being diligent and disciplined and personal responsibility, so you can make sure that you keep your money you keep your money to yourself and not donate it to other people. Okay. So does anybody have any projects that we want to take a look at? I'm going to open up the calendar. Now, if you're brand new to the space, welcome again to the Vetter community. This is the Crowdex Calendar. I mean, this is where the magic happens. This is where you'll be able to find a variety of projects. And just right away, it is a little scary, a little hectic, because there's a lot of information. Okay, there's a lot of information here. But just know that there are ways to filter the information and sift through the data. So before I go into that, let's see. I'm gonna unmute Aaron here.
Yes, sure.
Aaron, how are you, brother?
Good. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing fantastic.
So Phyllis has RoboBit Finance on Thursday.
Okay.
I've been looking at that one a little bit. It's on the 12th, Thursday the 12th. So.
Okay.
There it is.
Yeah. All right. Perfect. So this was posted by Haelstromm. So he's another great scout in our community, And so, yeah, we'll just go ahead and take a look at this. And, Aaron, if you want to stay unmuted, or anybody, if we want to look at this together, share some ideas back and forth, by all means, let's go for it. Have you had a chance to take a look at the project yet?
A little bit. Yeah, I've been on their website. I've been on their Telegram and been around on it just a little. It seems like the Telegram might be a little bit light. I like the idea of the bot. I haven't really got into it. It's kind of a utility bot that buys and sells for profits.
Okay.
Different cryptos. So
yeah. Okay, cool. So what was something that stood out to you about the project? What was something that made you be like, what caught your attention?
I'm kind of more of a utility guy anyway, but this one, again, you're looking at, who scouted it and who vetted it. Obviously they're, but the one thing about it is I think I can't remember what their soft cap or their hard cap is, like 3,000, and they've got like 2,600 people in the Telegram.
Yeah. Nice.
Which kind of
it's like
raised my eyebrows a little bit. So.
Right. It's like, okay, how is this going to work out?
Right.
Yeah. So what Aaron is saying is, so they have a hard cap of 3,000, soft cap of 1,500, and the Telegram group currently has 2,600 members. And so we know based on a volume of launches, based on experience, that not every member in Telegram is going to be a holder. Not every member is going to participate in the pre-sale. And so, the question is, is this pretty aggressive for the size of their Telegram group? Today is the 10th, and launch is happening, or pre-sale, launch is happening on the 11th. Maybe this is swapped. Pre-sale is happening on the 11th, perhaps, and launch is happening on the 12th. Let's just go ahead and look, see if we can find the pink cell. Okay. So what I did, I went to the Telegram group, and any information or any questions that you have for a project, you can just go up here to the magnifying glass, click that, and type in your question or a phrase. And so one of the things when I'm looking for pink cell is I just type pinkcell.finance, and I see that Rose posted that, make sure that it's accurate. And then I go over to pink cell, and this is going to give us information about the project. Okay. So the project is pre-sale start time is on the 12th. Okay. And looks like they're running it for an hour, which I do like that fact. Aaron, that's one thing I do like. It is a pretty big raise, 1,500 and 3,000, but the fact that it's only for an hour, I like it when projects have short pre-sale times, because I feel like it creates urgency.
Right.
And that excitement and hype.
Yeah, you're going to know pretty quick whether it's going to start to fill up. Right.
And, I don't know, it's still debatable, how this trending mechanism works. If this is like a, pay to play kind of thing, you pay money to get ranked up here, or it's based on volume. But, if they do raise a big amount in a shorter period of time, let's say the community does show up and they do raise a good amount, there's a potential that they could be ranked up here as well. That could also be part of their marketing strategy. But no, I'm really curious. Like I said, I love to see that short time frame, because I like to see excitement. I like to see momentum. I like to see movement with these projects. Let's go ahead and take a look at the website. Okay, so first thing that Aaron liked about this project. Let me do a recap just real quick. Okay, so posted by Haelstromm. He's a purple scout, vetted by Phyllis PSC 100X, and she's a green scout, purple vetter, and so really good members of the community. Okay, so that's one of the first things that caught Aaron's attention on why he's wanting to take a look at this project. Okay, and these are some potential scouts you'd want to follow as well. Okay, if you're at tier 3, you're only able to follow one scout. Okay, at tier 4, you have unlimited. Okay, so at tier 3, you kind of have a choice of like, who am I going to follow? But tier 4, these are definitely 2 members of the community you'd want to take a look at. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the website. First look at the website. I like the fact that it's custom, meaning they have their own feel to it. Like, I suppose, Aaron, you and I could fork out some money and have a website like this created pretty quickly. But initially, there is a feel and theme to it, which to me speaks, there's been intentionality behind it. Like there was some planning, it wasn't just a, oh, let me just go outsource this real quick. It's not a real detailed website. It's not a real advanced website. Okay. But it's okay. What I mean by that is, let me look at this one. Here's Camel Coin. And so this is like super custom. Okay. There's some graphics that have been done. There's some really good graphics. Like I like it. I like the feel. This is not something that Aaron and I could come together, or all of us on the call come together real quick and have this site up and running by the end of the day. There's some planning behind this. Okay. Okay, so one of the things that, so the website, I think is pretty good. It's not horrible. It's not just a blank template, but it's pretty good. We do have 2 LinkedIns. Let me see if I can open this on my other tab here. See if I can move it over. And I do appreciate the fact when they actually give real socials, not just a Telegram messenger link. This is real information. Okay, so he just has one thing for his activity. It was 3 days ago. Not necessarily good or bad, I just noticed. Let's check out the other LinkedIn profile. Okay, 535 followers. The other guy had, I think, one follower. Okay, so he's a little more active than the other person, whether it be for the crypto space or not. It is what it is, but there is some activity there. So I do appreciate the fact that they're showing more than just Telegram. Telegram doesn't do much for me at all, really. So the next thing that I'd be looking for is the information about the team, like actual team. And so, okay, it's great that they have the name. It's great that they have LinkedIn. And okay, title is fine, but like, what do they do? What's their experience level? Maybe it talks about it in the white paper. So let's look at the white paper. Okay, and so there's continuity and consistency between the white paper and the website. I like that a lot. To me, it says that there's some intentionality behind it. Again, there's some kind of plan here, not just hey, go ahead and get the white paper out. There's been times where I've seen a white paper, there was just literally a white PDF. And I don't know if that was just like a joke, because white paper, but I was not impressed. It just made me think like there was no effort put in. Okay, so not much about the team. Not much about the team here. On Telegram, it does say, I'm sorry, on Pinkcell, it does say audit. There's no KYC badge for what it's worth. It's vanity. But let's go ahead and let's check out the team and see if they're doxed. Okay, James, the founder, will dox before the pre-sale. Live video AMA with full team after the launch. Okay, so that makes me just a little curious. The reason is, if you're gonna dox, why wait? Like I guess what I'm curious, Aaron, why wait until after the pre-sale? Why not do it before the pre-sale? Like, I don't know. In my limited understanding, I can't think of a scenario why it would be beneficial to wait until after the pre-sale. I mean, like obviously I'm doing voice lives and I'm doing the daily discussion. I clearly have no problem, being out on the front line. But like if I was launching a project, to me personally, I would be very much interested in being on the forefront, sharing who I am and what I'm up to, and because like I feel like if you're gonna do it anyway, why not just do it from the beginning? Okay, so not that this is a red flag, it just makes me really curious. Like, I don't understand the benefit, doxing right before the pre-sale. Some projects will do an AMA, their first AMA right before the pre-sale. It's like, why? like you can be, this is like free marketing, yeah, so one of the things, Haelstromm just chimed in and said that there's a bug. He can't edit the date, but launches, the Wednesday launch is a bug. He can't edit the date. Okay, Haelstromm, we'll figure that out. Justin shares, if you dox after the launch, it tells me you don't stand behind your project. So why should I as an investor? That's a good thought. That's a great thought. And so, when we're talking about criteria that we're looking for when we get into projects, for Justin, this is a big one. If you don't stand behind your project, why should I? And so, when you go to the calendar and you see, tons of projects and there's all this information out here, you get to have criteria in place to filter that information. And for Justin, one of the ways he filters it is, if they're not doxed, I'm not investing. And that just makes it easy. There's no FOMO around, oh, what if it happens? What if this happened? No, it's like, look, these are my rules, and I execute the rules. Okay. So back to them doxing. Okay, so I find that to be a little strange. And there's not a lot of team docs picture not showing. Yeah, not okay. So that's about it for the team. So what I want to know is, I want to know how old the team is. Like, what's the age of the team? I found that some of the older teams, they have a lot more experience in life. They may lack experience in the crypto side, but they have experience in life, which has they have some resiliency. They've had some massive failures. They've had to develop some people skills. They've had to develop some leadership skills to get to where they are in life. And I find projects with teams like that to be really refreshing because it's not a matter of if something goes wrong in your project, it's a matter of when. And I find that sometimes the younger guys, they kind of implode whenever something doesn't go right. And, they may run away from Telegram chat instead of being right in the middle of it, right in the fire, communicating. And so I appreciate, older teams. I like to know, if they've had prior projects and what their prior experience is. Now, whether it's in the crypto space or whether it's in their own profession. Let's say that it was a professional in data security, and they're coming out with some kind of program that helps you stay safe online. I like to know that they've spent 30 years in that industry or 20 years in the industry because they're expert in their field. And now they are transitioning to the crypto side. And obviously they're not going to be the crypto expert, but they're bringing their own expertise into that. So one of the things I also check is pinned messages. And so we have 12 pinned messages since May. Let's just go ahead and go to that message. Okay, so it looks like the group started in May. So it's 10 days old with 2,600 members. Okay, 10 days old, 2,600 members. That seems like a lot for 10 days. So again, not necessarily a deal breaker, but what we're doing is we're just kind of stacking probabilities. Okay, I like this, I don't like this. I like this, I don't like this. Aaron, what are your thoughts on 2,600 members in 7 days?
Yeah, that's pretty, if you're doing it organically, that's pretty difficult. And I don't know how much marketing they've done. So it seems like a lot to get to in 10 days.
Yeah. Okay, so now, we're talking about marketing. So I just type in marketing in the Telegram group. And, basically, this is going to pull up any conversation that revolves around marketing. And so you're going to see a lot of the, all marketing proposals should be forwarded to so-and-so. But what we're looking for is some type of marketing announcement. And so maybe we can go back to the pinned messages and we can see what they say about any marketing that's in here. No. Oh, and Jesse, since you're on right now, brother, you scouted this project. If there's any questions that we're asking right now and you want to chime in, absolutely, man, unmute and feel free to chime in. Okay. Same thing with you, Phyllis. If you're here as well, Haelstromm scouted it, and Phyllis, or Haelstromm scouted it, and PSC 100X vetted it. And so right now, Aaron and I are just going back and forth, sharing thoughts and ideas on different things. But yeah, Haelstromm, if you're on and you can unmute and you want to chime in, by all means, go for it. So right now, I'm just looking for any information that would indicate some type of marketing plan. And so, one of the things you'll notice with Vetter, and we get spoiled at Vetter, I'll acknowledge that, we get spoiled at Vetter, but like there are very detailed marketing plans and ideas of what we're doing, where the money's going, how the money's being spent. And so some projects may just say marketing or influencers or whatever. And like, I suppose that's better than nothing, but that really doesn't tell us anything. Okay, so what we'd be looking for is like a specific plan. What's the marketing leading into the pre-sale? What's the marketing during the pre-sale? What's the marketing post-pre-sale and leading into launch? Okay, so some people talked about, is there going to be buying pressure? So there can be different phases of marketing, that are building hype right now, heading into the pre-sale. And then once a pre-sale finalizes, maybe they launch 24 hours after the pre-sale. There could be a whole new marketing campaign that's leading into the launch. Because some people don't even know about the pre-sale side of things. I'll admit, embarrassingly, I was one of those people. I joined the community and I didn't even understand the difference between pre-sale and getting in at launch. And like a lot of the projects early days, I was getting in at launch and I was getting hammered because I had no clue what I was doing. Okay. All right. So one of the things Justin is saying, yeah, especially with a 3,000 hard cap, they must have to have killer marketing to fill that. Was there a private sale? If so, what was the raise and what was it for? That could add to the buying pressure. Let's see if there's a private sale. No private sale. Okay. So we talked a little bit about the Scout and the website. Telegram, we've been in it. I haven't actually joined it. We've just been talking about it. Right now, there's not a lot of activity in the Telegram group as far as like conversations and things. Is it botted? Let's see here. Oh, botted. No. It is what it is. Let's say good project. Yeah, I mean, okay, so like this dude maybe. Yeah. Again, none of these things independently are a deal breaker one way or the other. This is just things to consider when you're looking at projects. Okay, so we looked at the pinned messages, there were 12. Telegram age was, like I said, 7 days. I didn't see any voice recordings. They're currently not in voice chat, nor do they have a timer for voice chat. Pre-sale starts in 2 days, and there's no timer for voice chat. So that's something that I noticed. Docs, they're going to docs after launch. They're going to do I guess an AMA also before the pre-sale. Prior projects, age, prior experience, we don't know any of that. There's no KYC through, for what it's worth. Pink cell, that's a pretty low standard, but just something to keep in mind. Let's see if there's RoboBit Finance. Let's see if there's anything on YouTube. We're going a little bit over on the call, but that's okay. We're almost wrapped up. Let's see if we see anything. Okay, so we got a video. Oh, they have their own YouTube channel.
हेलो दोस्तों.
Oh no, they don't.
हेलो दोस्तों, बिट्स अर्निंग यूट्यूब.
For some reason, when I saw that, I thought I confused myself. When I saw this right here, I thought it was the YouTube channel. So we have a couple people doing some reviews. So we got 3 YouTube videos. That's not a lot. So it doesn't look like they're necessarily spending a lot of money on YouTube. AMA, let's see this real quick. We might find a lot of things in here that just talk about AMA proposals. We may not find actual AMA. Okay, what's he responding to? Oh, right here. We're gonna have an AMA right before the launch. It's like, I mean, I don't know about that, man. I'd like you to have an AMA right now, so I can ask my questions now. Okay, so those are the basics that we've gone through. So there's still plenty of time to circle up and do your due diligence. Still a day and 16 hours, 17 hours left before the project, the pre-sale starts. Now keep in mind, it is open to the public, so this is not a whitelist. So yeah, hop in Telegram, okay? Ask your questions, add this to your volume of launches just to watch. Here's a great opportunity to practice and just follow some good scouts and bettors. Aaron and I shared some ideas and topics about what we were covering. And let me check the chat real quick. Meloride says, for the data I've been tracking on projects like this, they don't reach soft cap, which is big. They'll probably flip it to a fair launch, which is a whole new strategy and a bunch more questions for us investors to consider. Not a bad thing, but tells me very little buy pressure and hype around the project. Absolutely. I agree. This is a really big fill these are really big numbers considering the size of the group at this point. And so what Justin is saying is right now it's considered a pre-sale, which has a start and end date. They want to raise a certain amount of money. And if they don't hit 1,500 BNB, they will likely cancel it and do something called a fair launch. Let's see if I can find one. Fair launch. What this means is they will change their soft cap. Okay. And they'll probably change it to like, I don't know, 100, 200, 300 BNB. They may change it to something that like was similar to what they filled and then just open it up. And then now they're going to run it for a handful of days. And this is going to run indefinitely until the timer runs out. Okay. There's projects who've raised, there's projects who have like a 10-day Web3. Justin, you brought this one up. Web3 was a project we got into a few months back. They had they've had a pretty big raise and they only raised like 100, 200 BNB in like a handful of days. It was a 10-day raise. They only raised a handful of BNB and they canceled it, ended up doing a fair launch and ended up raising like over 6,000 BNB. And so that's the process that tends to happen with these. So this is one of those to watch and document and see what happens. So with that, does anybody have any questions or comments for this project? We're talking about RoboBit Finance, just weighing some pros and cons, just talking about it as a community, sharing ideas and thoughts that we each have, and sharing those perspectives. If anybody doesn't have it, yeah, Justin, go ahead, brother.
Hey, sorry. Yeah, the first thing I wanted to mention kind of goes back to the security thing we were talking about Telegram. When you first started looking into this project and you were on their Telegram group, you typed in the search pinksale.finance. And I want to kind of stress that one of the big scams that are out there are fake pink sale links.
Yes.
And pink sale spelled incorrectly, but a lot of pink sale that are in the general chat. Again, I will really only go to pink sale links unless they've been pinned. If they haven't been pinned, I always ask the team to pin it. They do. There's no reason why they don't for those security reasons. So, but by spelling pinksale.finance like you did correctly in that search is a good tool if it's not there and if it's posted by Rose. So that's one thing that I wanted to mention about that. That's a great tip. The other thing I liked about this project is that the pre-sale only opened for an hour. And actually it being a pre-sale, those are, I'm a big fan of those right now. I'm not I'm not loving the fair launches. I don't believe a fair launch should last more than 12 or 24 hours, and they all seem to, because of the successes of like Web3 and stuff like that, where there's just massive raises, and
Right.
and they have a hard time kind of justifying those large raises. That worries me a little bit. So having a pre-sale is great. Having a pre-sale for 1 hour is great, and I have a little more confidence being involved in that, because if it doesn't fill, I get my tokens back. If I see very little buying pressure, I can always claim back, and you know what, that 10% loss of my contribution is worth it to me, if there's going to be no hype or no volume at launch. So that's something that I look forward to. I like that. I also like that there's virtually no unlocked tokens on that, tokenomics on the pink cell as well. So I agreed that the website looked a little bit basic, but for this type of project, I'd kind of cut it a little bit of slack maybe. And but it looks a little bit like a pump and dump. Once there's some buying pressure there, I'm going to keep an eye on it. I'm going to look at it.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for tying up and putting a bow on some of the topics we covered.
Sure.
Like I said, this is what the beautiful thing about the community is. Different experience levels, different walks of life, and sharing thoughts and ideas, and coming together for all of us to get a feel for what's going on with these projects. And the best part about this is the best part, guys. Like this right here, what I'm about to say is the best part. Any pro or con on this project, it is what it is. There's no meaning to it whatsoever. Meaning, we could all come together and say, this is the best project I have seen in weeks, and we could get in and it could tank. And guess what? We have zero control over it. And guess what? We say, oh, well, minus 0.1, minus 0.5, minus 1, minus 10, and we move on to the next project because there's a calendar full of them. Okay. On the flip side, we could say, oh man, this project looks rough. There's all these things about it that's just, this doesn't work and this doesn't work, and I don't know about this and I don't know about that. And it launches, and this could be the next 10x, 20x, 50x, 100x. Okay. All we're doing in this stage is we're stacking probabilities from our own perspective, and you get to do this for your own perspective. We're stacking probabilities on why or why not we are willing to take a swing. Some people may say, hey, I'm willing to take a swing on this. Some people say, I'm going to watch this one. Some people say, hey, pass. And whatever you do, that's totally fine and totally up to you. It's all your own personal thing. Because at the end of the day, we can't control a single thing once that project goes live. It's out of our hands. Out of our hands. The only control we have over is what we're doing right now, talking about it, sharing ideas, sharing different possibilities and things like that. So hey, thank you everybody for contributing and the different things that you've shared. One thing before we hop off as it relates to safety, sometimes there can be fake rose bots. Okay, so sometimes there can be fake rose bots. So what Justin was saying was so instead of just typing pink cell, I type in actual pinkcell.finance. And that's one way that I screen to get the actual websites. But like we said, there are, if people want your money, they're going to go to whatever links to get it. And so you want to be super diligent. Okay. So Rose may not even be the real Rose. Okay. Rose may not even be the real Rose. So those are just things to be mindful of when you're in Telegram, when you're dabbling around with the different links and things like that. So with that being said, guys, hey, thank you for being a part of the discussion today. I'll end like I always do. Life can be short. So for those that you care and love, let them know you care and love them. Hey, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for being a part of this awesome community. And I will see you in Discord and in Telegram. Bye for now.
Thanks, Ryan.
Hey, thank you guys.
Thanks, bud.
Absolutely.